city's coldest, you should know this. I've been rapping like a veteran, not a novice. Different flow when I drop a track.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we've got a quick turnaround time on the Porcupine Tree reactions. The Blackest Eyes reaction that I did recently just got me listening to Porcupine Tree's older stuff again, and I said, look, I wanted to do more Porcupine Tree because although they don't get the greatest response in terms of feedback, well, they do get great feedback, but you know, view counts and everything, they're not the most popular band, but a part of me kind of wants to continue with them because of that reason, because they're somewhat underground in that sense. I know they're a UK band, they don't really have, based on, you know, responses that I might get to other, you know, more globally known bands, they don't get the greatest response in terms of like view count and progressing the channel in terms of numbers and everything. But man, all that shit aside, these guys are at the moment top 2 favorite bands for me. It's between Porcupine Tree and Dream Theater, so I don't give a shit if these videos are getting 5, 10 views, you know, whatever amount of views it is. As long as people are enjoying them, as long as I'm enjoying making them, as long as I'm getting something out of it in terms of, you know, finding the music that I've been listening to going forward, which is what I have been doing, then I'm going to continue to do so. So I hope you guys will stick around. This one is The Sound of Music, or Muzak. I don't know, how would you say that? Like, to me, when I read that, it's The Sound of Muzak. Yeah, we're going to jump in, guys. This one apparently is so this one is on the In Absentia album, which is, we've already done Blackest Eyes, which was the last reaction. We've done Trains, we haven't done Lips of Ashes, but then the 4th track on the album is The Sound of Music, so we do, or Muzak. So we've done 1, 2, and now we're doing 4. So apparently the track is about a Porcupine Tree so apparently the track is about porcupines. The track is not about porcupines. Apparently the track is about Porcupine Tree's personal attack on the record industry. Lashing out against soulless ear candy, The Sound of Music paints an image of a very depressing future in which music continues to be continually watered down and created merely to make money, losing artistic integrity and originality. So there is a great example that is trending at the moment, which is 6ix9ine, who, I don't know if any people who are maybe, you know, a little bit older, in the older demographic, I'm not firing shots here, but maybe you just haven't heard of an artist called 6ix9ine. He is basically a rainbow-haired rapper, hip-hop artist, who is quite controversial in the hip-hop scene, and he is breaking records pretty much every single time he puts out a video because, one, he's so controversial. He's known for being like a snitch in that kind of, you know, hip-hop gang related field, and that is quite prominent in America. But I mean, the whole snitching thing over here isn't really a big deal unless you're, you know, involved in some form of gang. So the regular person doesn't really give a shit about snitching realistically, like, because no one's involved or deeply invested in the roots of gang culture. But going away from the point, essentially 6ix9ine, he's just very controversial. He breaks a lot of records. His music is, you know, very watered down as described in what I've just read there. But, you know, he makes a shit ton of money from it because the views and everything, the audience that he brings in, because of the controversy, because he is somewhat, you know, he's a captivating character. People either love him or hate him. He divides a lot of people, but the point being is that his music isn't, you know, doesn't require a lot of talent. I mean, anyone can really look at it and say, okay, well, like, this track is being carried by the beat and he's just kind of, you know, auto-tune singing over it.
Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb, huh?
But that is obviously a good, prominent topic to speak about based on the fact that his new music video with Nicki Minaj is literally trending at the moment. Interested to see what this one's all about, guys. We obviously know that Porcupine Tree are on the opposite end of the spectrum to 6ix9ine. So yeah, let's see what this track is all about, guys. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute banger because based on pretty much every Porcupine Tree video that I've done so far, I've never been disappointed. So headphones on as usual. Let's jump into this, guys. If you haven't already, if you could drop a like, it'd be much appreciated. Sub to the channel if you are new, and let's jump into The Sound of Music. Oh yeah.
Hear the sound of music drifting in the aisles. The elevator Prozac stretching on for miles. The music of the future will not entertain. It's only meant to repress and neutralize your brain.
Yes.
So get squeezed out, edges get lost. Demographic gives what you want. One of the wonders of the world. Now the sound of music comes in silver pills, engineered to suit you, building cheaper thrills. The music of rebellion makes you wanna rage, but it's made by millionaires who are nearly twice your age.
Again, just so clear, the clarity of his voice, Steve Wilson's voice.
Of the world, and no one cares, no one cares enough. One of the wonders of the world is going down, it's going down, I know. It's one of the wonders of the world, and no one cares, no one cares enough.
Yeah, it's just the polar opposite to this music is the polar opposite to the music that he or Steven Wilson and Porcupine Tree are referring to in the content of the lyrics of this track. Like as an artist, as opposed to, you know, someone who makes music. So 6ix9ine, for example, I don't consider 6ix9ine to be an example. We're gonna roll with the 6ix9ine idea here because I started with that. So I don't consider 6ix9ine to be an artist. He's more like an entertainer who makes music, whereas Steven Wilson and everyone in Porcupine Tree are what I would consider to be artists. Now I know everyone has their own take on, you know, what is an artist and who is an artist and who has the right to be called an artist. If you produce music and people enjoy it, then what's the difference between, you know, it being slightly more technical, a little bit more detailed than someone who makes music, you know, for the masses. So you can argue between the 2 points there, but for the sake of my own argument, I'm going to suggest that 6ix9ine is more of an entertainer to me, who happens to make kind of catchy mainstream music, but a lot of the time it's because he's so controversial, and in my opinion there isn't half the amount of effort that goes into his music that there will be into something like this. Now, this track was brought out on the album In Absentia in 2002, and to me this sounds like a track like this, and I know again this is completely subjective to everyone, but to me this will never sound outdated. You know, it's a very easy listening track that just doesn't, to me it stands the test of time because it still sounds like so perfect. You know, it sounds like a good track to me still all these years later. Whereas music, like, and I can imagine that's probably like the highest form of compliment that Steven Wilson or anyone in Porcupine Tree or any band that, you know, really puts a lot of effort into honing their craft, it's probably the highest level of compliment they can get, that a track that they produced 15 years ago or whatever, 20 years ago, 18 years ago to be exact, is still relevant and still makes sense, and to even be ahead of its time as well, because it's pretty much predicting exactly what I just said with the 6ix9ine situation. It's saying like all this music that's just completely saturated the market, and it's like taken away from the artistic value of music. And if it keeps up where like people are just content with making music off the content that they're putting out, as opposed to, you know, slaving away and almost like losing money just to put out music for the masses or for even a small group of people. Whereas like 6ix9ine and that kind of music, it's hot right now, and one, he's such a controversial character, so like he's a hot artist, but it's also like how popular is he? You can't really gauge off of how many fans he actually has, because a lot of people are just following him and listening to his music because he's so, like, you know, it's like a ticking time bomb. People are waiting to see what happens, you know, and it takes away from, you know, the integrity of artists who do genuinely put a lot into their craft and take the time to actually make good music. But I can only imagine in 10 years time there'll be a new trend and 6ix9ine will be completely irrelevant and no one will really listen to his music anymore, you know, because it's like kind of turn up party music that, I mean, yeah, it's hot right now, but it doesn't take a lot of talent to actually create that music. So there will be another artist with fucking rainbow hair, gold teeth, that will do the exact same style of music in 10 years time, and everyone will have forgotten about 6ix9ine. So it's music like this that maybe isn't the most popular in terms of pleasing the masses, but that stands a lot of weight, that what they're saying in this track is still so relevant to this day, ahead of its time completely, but it's also sounds so good to someone who is of a different generation, you know. I mean, it's essentially a new generation. They weren't probably making this kind of music for my era or even my demographic, but I mean, it's still, you know, across demographics with music like this. So yeah, that dragged on a little bit longer than expected, guys, but I'm going to wrap it up because I think my camera is about to die. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy my reaction, my thoughts before and after, then please do let me know by dropping a like. Sub to the channel if you are new for more Porcupine Tree, Dream Theater, all progressive rock we're going to be covering over the next few weeks, months, years, who knows. And yeah guys, thank you as always for watching. I'm signing out. My laptop's also about to die. I'm gone. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.